Welcome to the course info session. I'm Anmol Gupta, Institute Secretary of Academic Affairs and Head of Student Support Services. And this session is organized by us and the whole of Academic Council. I have my four coordinators with me, Tushar Thaval, Risha Agarwal, Deep Karman Palsing, and Adarsh Kumar. Okay, so let's move on to the next slide. So why are we all here in the first place? Like, you all have been here for 1 year, you experienced the institute, the cultural activities, the academic activities, you have a fair idea of what the institute is about. So why do you need a session at the end of your first year at all? The answer is that your senior years, including your sophomore year, is quite different than what your first year ever was. The academic policies are different, the academic opportunities are different, different rules will be there, you will have different kind of things to delve into. For example, minors, honors, electives, you will have categories imposed on you, a lot of things. So you need to be aware of both the aspects of the academics here, the rules as well as the opportunities that are available to you. So that is why the session has been kept in the first place. So I think we can start with the session. Okay, so first of all, to introduce you to the sophomore booklet and the course info booklet. Again, why a sophomore booklet? That question is partly answered in my first slide as well, that there are a lot of differences between what your first year has been and what your senior years will. So we compiled all the resources that you will be needing in your second year, including the academics as well as the other opportunities that you have, and put them in a booklet in easy language for you to comprehend. That is the link there, it's not visible properly. The link is tinyurl.com/sophomore booklet. You can also visit our Student Support Services Facebook page. The link will be there. Can you just have a demo of the sophomore booklet? So yeah, that's the cover page. Yeah, one more. One second. So these are categories. I will just have a short description of categories. So academic categories are based on almost exclusively on the previous 2 semesters' performances, except the category 1 and 2. If you have to distinguish between category 1 and 2, you need to consider CPI. Otherwise, your whole allotment of the categories depends only on your previous 2 semester performance. So if you don't have any backlogs and you have a CPI of greater than 8.0, then you will be put in category 1. Then if you don't have any backlogs but your CPI is less than 8.0, then you will be put in category 2. A student who has 1 backlog course in this previous 2 semester, regardless of the CPI, will be put in category 3. Someone who has more than 1 backlog courses, but he has completed at least 18 credits in both of the semesters, he will be put in category 4. And finally, the person who has not earned even 18 credits in both the semester, he or she will put in category 5. So what is the prominence of these categories? What IIT Bombay believes is that each student has his own capacity. If a student is in lower categories, then he or she needs to be given less load so that he can compensate his academics. Students who are in category 1 or 2, they can be given higher courses, they can take more number of credits, they can overload themselves. While students of lower categories, they should first clear their backlogs and only then they can take further courses. So that is why this whole distinction is being done. Like you saw, the normal load and overload. So there are 3 things: prescribed load, normal load, and overload. Prescribed load is the actual load which the department recommends, the core courses and all. Normal load means 1 course extra than the prescribed load. And overload means 2 courses extra. There are a lot of restrictions as well, that you cannot take more than 6 theory courses in 1 semester, etc. You can go through all of them in this booklet. And also, since dual degree students have to do 1 course extra per semester, so their normal load is actually the prescribed load itself. So if they want to do a minor or any other ALC in any of the semester, they need to have a CPI of greater than 8.0 because they're already doing 1 extra course, then the BTech counterparts. So this is all about the registration and honors elective. This will all be discussed in the session. So these are some reviews of minors. You can go through them. We will also have seniors coming here to talk them about their experiences, etc. Then this is about branch change, testimonials, whether you should do a branch change or should not do a branch change. And finally, we have some thing about BTP and DDP. You will be needing them mostly in your senior years only. And at the end, we have senior reviews of some seniors who have passed on with great academic excellence and other activities. So we took their reviews of what their life has been, what their advice has been to you, and we compiled them, and hence we presented the sophomore booklet to you. Now we'll just move on to the course info booklet. Yeah, so sophomore booklet includes a lot of things other than academics also, like semester exchange, fast tracking of BTech degrees, etc. Course info booklet, on the other hand, is entirely about what your courses are. It tells you in great detail about what each course is about, like a lot of courses, what all minor courses are about, what is tagging, how you can change your tags, etc. So if we browse through this booklet, you can see that this tells us about the honors, electives, ALCs, etc. Why you should do a minor, what are the various minors available to you, and the tagging rules, like what all courses can be tagged and what cannot be tagged. Like we'll give you a complete overview of what tagging is by the end of the session. Minor courses and their reviews. This is a very exhaustive list of all the courses compiled. So yeah, let's just move on to the next session, next part. Okay, so the major question in most of your minds, what are minors, honors, electives, ALCs, etc. So minors means, the concept of minor majorly came from a foreign university. Like what happens there is you do a major and you do a minor. So this concept grew in India, and now what we do, that we do 30 credits in some other department and we consider that as a minor degree. So what we imply is that you're not here in IIT Bombay to complete a minor, you're doing your major degree, but other than that you can also do a minor with worth 30 credits in your some other departments. So that doesn't mean that you have earned, like you can clearly see the stark difference. Like your regular degree is about 256 credits, while your minor degree is only about 30 credits. So there's a stark difference, there's a lot of knowledge gap, and you cannot just completely rely on your minor degree for your placements, internships, etc. But on the other hand, your minor degree does give a lot of advantage. For example, if you couple your degree with some really good course projects, some good presentations, etc., then the courses can give you an upper hand in a lot of internships, placements, and you can also do it just for interest. So minor means that you complete 30 credits, which most of the times amounts to 6 theory courses in some other department. And for dual degree, of course, you need to have a CPI of greater than 8.0 throughout your years. But you do have 2 extra semesters. Like for dual, you guys have 8 semesters to complete 6 credits, 6 theory courses. While for BTech, you have just 6 semesters to complete 5 theory courses. So dual students do have some more time. They can actually drop the minor courses at some point of time and take them later. But they have to maintain a CPI of greater than 8.0. Now, if we talk about honors, so honors is kind of what some people like to call them as minor in their own department. Like you are doing some additional study in your own department. So for honors, if we consider BTech, you need to do 24 additional credits than the ones you're already doing. For example, some departmental electives, etc. For dual, the dual people, some of you people might be knowing that by default they're already doing honors. So dual people do not have to take up any additional courses. By the end of their 5th year, they would have already completed their honors. So for them, honor courses is like 30 credits. For BTech, it's like 24 credits. Also, you consider minor courses as specially tagged as minor. Like when you will be registering in your 3rd semester, you'll be tagging them as ALCs or minor courses. But for honors, you won't be tagging them as honor courses. At the end of your stay here at IIT Bombay, you can just completely compile all the list that you have done all these courses in the department, and these can be tagged as honors, and you will earn an honor degree. Dual degree students, on the other hand, automatically earn an honors degree. So when they pass out, they will pass out with like dual degree in electrical engineering with honors. While BTech students, they will pass out with BTech degree, and if they do additional courses in the department, they will pass out with BTech degree with honors. Then comes electives. So majorly there are 3 kind of electives: department electives, institute electives, and humanity electives. Department electives are what one chooses to do in their own department, and they can either be tagged as honors or just as learning courses. Institute electives are what people can do apart from the other department. For example, if I'm in the electrical department and I want to do a course in, say, maths department, I'll tag that as an institute elective. For example, I can also do any course in HS department or any other department. Basically, in any other department, if I do the course, I'll tag it as institute elective. And if I do any course in my own department apart from my core courses, I'll tag it as a department elective. Then humanities elective, that is one elective that everyone has to do compulsorily. There are 4 choice of courses which consist of language, philosophy, psychology, etc. So all of these students have to do one compulsory HSS elective in your stay here at IIT Bombay. And then we have ALCs. So the concept of ALCs comes majorly from tagging. So what people do is that when they take up any course, they tag it as ALCs. So yeah, one thing I think I need to mention here, that minor grade is not concluded in your CPI. Like whatever grade you get in your minor in any course, it will not affect your CPI in any manner. Same with honors. Whatever grade you earn in honors for BTech students, for dual students, the honors grade will be calculated. But if you're a BTech student, then honor grade will not be calculated in your actual CPI. And it will be mentioned separately. For example, BTech with this CPI and BTech with honors with this CPI. And what shows in your mark sheet at the end is majorly your BTech CPI, not your honors CPI. That is mentioned only in your transcript. For dual students, on the other hand, your CPI includes your minor courses because they form part of your prescribed load. And ALCs, they are not included in your CPI. So you can take any amount of ALCs, any kind of ALC, and it will not be reflected on your grade at any point of time. But as we'll explain later through tagging, what people do is if they get a very high grade point in some course, like let's say I take pottery. Pottery is a kind of an ALC which people do here. So if I take pottery, and I score a 10 in that, then I will tag that course later as an institute elective and my CPI will automatically rise. So this is just a brief introduction to what tagging is, but I'll cover that in more detail. Next on we have, before moving on to minor reviews, we have Devang Thakkar, Institute Secretary of International Affairs, who is going to tell you about semester exchange and what's the hula behind all the inter-IT semester exchange. Over to Devang.
Can I have some silence, please? Thank you. So, my name is Devang and I'll be talking to you about what are student exchanges and how can you apply for one. So, what student exchanges are is basically, can you go ahead? Yeah. So, it's a provision for students over here to spend a semester or two abroad in order to complete courses that they would otherwise complete at IIT Bombay. So what you do is you go abroad to a university. Instead of doing courses you do over here, you take up corresponding, not exactly the same courses, but really related courses at those universities. And then when you come back, you tag those courses over here so that at the end of your 4 years or 5 years, you have your 250 or 300 credits that you require. So what IIT Bombay does is it provides you with different opportunities. IIT Bombay signs different MOUs with different universities. What these MOUs decide is whether you can go there for 1 semester or 2 semesters, whether there are any scholarships available or not, what departments can go for these exchanges. So for example, ETH Zurich in Switzerland only allows physics people to go for an exchange. So you don't really have to look for the MOUs on the IR website that we have. We have a compilation of all the MOUs and we have listed what are the restrictions. So some universities have a restriction for the CPI. So for example, École Centrale Paris in France has a CPI cutoff of 8, whereas some other university has a cutoff of 6. So it depends. So we have all that listed on the IR site. So if you can go to the site, we'll list the site at the end. You'll get a brief idea of what exactly are the restrictions for the exchanges. So why would you actually go for an exchange? So people usually go for an exchange because it makes them a more independent, a more confident person. So I went to Paris last semester for an exchange and I felt that it exposed me to many different people, many different cultures. There are people from over 20 different countries in the same university and that gives you a lot of cultural experience. It helps you to meet new people, expand your network. So now I have friends in around 20 different countries in Europe, so I can just crash the place whenever I want. So exchanges help you to widen your outlook and it's a different experience compared to what you do over here. So over here people will be marking for the NSEMs and there are people I know who gone for an exchange this semester who are just traveling across Europe. So that is what exchanges are for. Go ahead. So what you can do to go for an exchange is you will have to first select a university which you need to go for an exchange. So there's a list of universities which allow an exchange. You have a list of that on the side. You select a university, then the next step is to select the courses that you want to do there because you want to complete the courses. So you go for the course booklet and then you see the courses that are available. You check if the timetable is matching yours, if the semester completes at a time which is okay for you, and then what you do is you fill a nomination form and submit it to the IR office. So how do you do that is on the next slide. So you select a university, go to the university website, and then you do a course mapping. So what a course mapping is that when you open ASC, you have a description of the courses that you have. So you select a course, enter the description that you have, and you select a corresponding course in a foreign university, and then you paste the description. And so you select 4 or 5 courses, as many courses as you want, and then you get it approved by a faculty. The faculty tells you if it's decently mapping or not. Once the faculty accepts it, you send the application to the DUGC and the HOD. Now the HOD will approve it and then he'll send it to the IR office. Once it reaches the IR office, you're still not done. So what happens is the IR office will then nominate people based on the number of people applying, and if you're nominated, the university over there then selects you, and then you get to go there for an exchange. A lot of the universities have scholarships available, so most of the universities can actually get you an exchange where you don't have to pay a single rupee. You'll be there done it free. So there are scholarships which the universities give you, there are scholarships which the countries give you, there are scholarships which alumni give you. So a lot of times you get a lot of scholarship, but also sometimes the universities which are really nice but they do not have any scholarships. So these are the people you can contact. There's the IR office on the first floor in the main building. You can contact people over there. There's Sushma ma'am, there's Arnab sir. You can talk to me. You can talk to the people who have gone for exchanges in the previous semesters. There's a list of them on the IR website. You can contact them anytime you want. They'll be easy to contact. That's what happened with me as well. You can contact me anytime you want. So another thing that is going to start next semester is inter-IT exchanges. Starting next semester, we'll be having 2 MOUs with IIT Delhi and IIT Roorkee. So it's similar to other universities. Just like that, you have to submit a course mapping and you get it approved by the faculty, give it to the HOD, he gives it to the IR office, and you can go to the other IITs, that's IIT Delhi and IIT Roorkee for 1 or 2 semesters if you want. So that is it from me at the moment. All the information that I've said now is available at this site, and you can contact me anytime you want. Thank you.
So now we'll be having some seniors talk about their minor reviews. So like you must be having a lot of questions in your mind, because like minor is something that a lot of people want to do. So like, why should I do this minor? What would I gain from it? Why take an extra course when I'm already, being troubled with my own courses? I'm from X branch. How does doing a branch in Y make sense for me? Like this is a question that a lot of you feel like. I'm in chemical department. Do you have any question? Okay. So like I'm in chemical department. Why should I be doing a course in some other department just for the sake of it? A minor for interest or for future prospects. A lot of you think that if I do a minor in this department, I'll gain a very good job, I'll get a very good placement, I'll get some really good internship, etc. Some of you think that I should do this minor just because I like the courses, which is totally fine as well. So we'll be having seniors talk about their experiences, how they have fared in the minors, how their experience has been, what they thought about what minor would turn out to be and how it actually turned out to be. Who all should take up that minor, who all would suit this minor. So we'll be starting off with CS minor, SAT minor.
Hi, can everybody hear me? Yeah. Okay. So, I completed my CS minor last semester and I can give you a brief overview of the structure of the CS minor. So the structure usually changes every 4 or 5 years, but the current structure. Okay. So the current structure is something like this. The first course that you usually do is a computer networks course, which is quite basic, in which you basically understand how the internet works and how computer networks works. And it does not have any prerequisites. So you can just go and take up the course and you wouldn't require any previous programming background except your CS 101 course. And the next course that you take, which is probably the most important minor course in the CS department, is the CS 213 or Data Structures and Algorithms course. So why is this course so important? So every other minor course or CS course at the second year, third year, fourth year, or even the PG level would have this course as a prerequisite. Once you get the basics of data structures and algorithms, you can go and study any other advanced CS topic from these basic ideas. So it is a quite basic course, and it would even be helpful in your placement interviews, in your internship interviews, for job applications, university applications, because it is such a basic course and delivers some key ideas like problem solving, logical thinking, and basically would help you in your life later. The next course that is usually offered is a development of this course, which is basically design and analysis of algorithms. So in 213 you would basically learn some brief ideas about algorithms, but in the next course you would delve deeper into algorithms. So if somebody is more interested in, say, abstract maths or pure maths and wants to learn more things related to theoretical computer science, then this is the ideal course for them. And it would cover in great detail the various ways in which you can tackle problem solving and basically help you build a systematic method of solving problems in real life. So that is why this course would be helpful. The next course is usually operating systems, which is a great course for the EE guys. So any EE people here. Because in the third year you would be doing a microprocessors course, and the natural extension of this course would be the OS course in the computer science department. So whatever you learn at the hardware level, you also need to learn what happens at the software level. And the OS course is something that, operating systems are something that we interact with every day. Your Windows, Android, iOS, Linux is something that you interact with every day. And this is the course that would teach you how these operating systems work, how you would go about building a good operating system, what are the characteristics of a good operating system. So this is also quite a basic course that covers key ideas of one element of computer science, that is systems and systems design. The next course is something that involves a lot of programming and something that a lot of people here might be interested in, that is computer graphics. So anybody here that is interested in gaming or special effects in movies would definitely like this course, because it covers the basics of how objects are rendered in a computer screen. So anytime you see a well-designed computer game, you see the algorithms and the maths that goes behind it is quite complex and involved. And the computer graphics course is the course that would help you understand that math and the theory behind it. So, but it is quite heavy in the programming aspect because you can't learn computer graphics without actually implementing stuff. But it is also definitely interesting. The next course is also something that a lot of us might have been interested in. So, if you have ever wondered how hacking occurs, or what are the elements of web security, or whenever you are making a bank transaction or a digital money transaction, what are the elements of security that are involved? Why do you need to send an OTP? So, the CS department offers a course on computer and network security, which also covers the fundamentals of how to build a secure computer system and how to build a secure computer network. So, how does IIT Bombay protect, say, its servers from attacks, from outside attacks? This would be something that you would learn in that course. So overall, the CS minor basically gives you a broad variety of things that you can learn in the CS department. And once you have done all of these courses, or say 5 of these courses which you would need to complete a minor, you can basically go on and do any advanced course anywhere in computer science and basically be confident that you will be able to understand what is going on. So that is what a CS minor would do for you. The other thing is often that people think that it would help them in placements, and that is often quite true. Definitely in internships and software related roles, you would get a slight advantage over somebody who has not done a CS minor or does not have that programming experience. So that is something that is quite true of CS minors in general. And Well, yeah. So, yes, another option that the CS department provides is you can either do 5 courses out of the ones that I suggested, or you can do 4 courses and you can do an R&D project with the professor. So basically, if you want to do some research in computer science, you can go and contact the professor after you have done 4 minor courses and work with him under some research project. Or you can also take an advanced course. So what I did was I did 4 computer science courses, and because I was interested in artificial intelligence, I did an advanced course in artificial intelligence and reinforcement learning. So what you can do is you can either do 4 courses from the minor list and then do an advanced course of your choice. So this is the flexibility that they offer, which not many other departments offer. That's about it.
Next we have Anish who will continue to talk about his mathematics minor.
Okay, hello. My name is Anish Kulkarni. I am a sophomore. So, yeah, I am pursuing the mathematics minor. In the math minor, you have 5 courses to choose from. Each of the courses has 8 credits, and you need to complete 30 credits for a minor. So, basically, doing 4 courses is enough. The 5 courses are real analysis, abstract algebra, general topology, not abstract algebra actually, basic algebra, general topology, complex analysis, and Fourier analysis. I covered 5, right? Yeah. So, real analysis is a prerequisite for general topology and Fourier analysis. Real analysis and basic algebra, both of them run in the odd semester. The other 3, complex analysis, Fourier analysis, and general topology, run in the even semester. Generally, people choose to do the real analysis course because it is a prerequisite for the other 2. But you can also choose to do the basic algebra course first. So in the real analysis course, you will be learning in a more rigorous way what you learned in your calculus MA 105 course. You will be proving things, stating things, doing things more rigorously, much more rigorously, and you'll be proving everything basically, almost everything that you'll be doing. You won't, possibly depending upon the instructor, you might not, or you might cover multivariable calculus in real analysis, but single variable definitely you will cover. After that, so I took real analysis in my third semester, odd semester. After that, right now I'm taking topology, general topology. So yeah, one more thing I want to mention is that the topology and the complex analysis courses, although they do run in the even semester, these 2 courses run only alternate years as minor courses. That means this year topology is running as a minor course. Next year complex analysis will run as a minor course in the same semester. So next year you won't be able to take topology you won't be able to tag topology as a minor course. You'll be able to do that next year. So yeah, you need to plan your, depending upon what courses you want to do, you need to plan your things accordingly. It's usually advisable to take real analysis in the 3rd semester because it's a prerequisite for 2 other courses. Yeah. So yeah, from the 5 courses you have to choose any 4 basically to complete the minor. Each of them is 8 credits, 32 credits. One more thing, since each of the courses is 8 credits, math minors usually, as far as my experience is concerned till now, I'm doing my 2nd course right now, but they have a lot of lecture hours. Real analysis had 4.5 lecture hours, and right now topology has 4 lecture hours per week. So that's more than other minor courses, but it's manageable. If you're interested in maths, I really enjoy the math minor courses. I would like to tell you that it involves, all of the math minor courses involve a lot of abstract mathematics, probably not the kind you might be used to from JEE. So yeah, just beware of that while choosing the math minor. If you're into that, it's really very I enjoy minor courses a lot. Okay, yeah. his question was, I said the complex analysis course runs only alternate years as a minor course. So the thing is that it runs alternate years as a minor course, but it runs for the MSc people, MSc Maths people every year in this semester, in this even semester. So, but just that it doesn't run as a minor course. You can't tag it as a minor every year. Only alternate years you can do that. If you're interested in taking up the course, you can do that. You go and talk to the instructor. You can do that. I know seniors who have done that. So yeah, you can definitely take it. Even if it's not running as a minor course, you can take it as an ALC or yeah. Any other questions? Thank you.
Okay, so next up we have Anand Noot, who has done Stats Minor. So like, the CS guys here might be knowing it's a very popular minor among the CS guys especially.
Hi, so my name is Anand. I'm a 4th year student in CSE and I'll complete my Stats Minor this semester. The Stats Minor is also very similar to the Maths Minor in the sense that you have to do 3 8-credit courses and 1 6-credit course to complete the 30 credits. Having 8-credit courses mean that so you have 3 hours of lectures and either 1 tutorial hour or there's a lab for 1 course on regression analysis. So there's that extra component in 3 out of the 4 courses. But then you can complete the minor inside 2 years, and like most other minors will take you 5 semesters. Coming to what kind of content is present in Stats Minor, I think the content is much more application oriented. It doesn't have as much of abstract mathematics in it. The problems would be such that you'll have to work with statistical concepts. So there will obviously be a lot of maths involved, lots of equations and all that stuff. So my personal suggestion would be to take up a minor only if you are genuinely interested in a particular field. This goes for all minors, not just stats. And particularly for stats, I think what do you gain from the minor? I think from the prospects of internships and placements, I think there are some companies in finance sector and some areas in computer science where concepts from the stats minor would be very helpful as a very good theoretical background to supplement your knowledge in that particular field. But at the same time, the courses in the stats minor are very fundamental in some sense. So they begin right from the basics and go on to cover advanced concepts. So particularly for people who are in computer science department, I think for at least 2 out of the 4 courses, there will be significant overlap. By significant, I mean about 30 to 40% overlap, complete overlap with some of your core courses. And that kind of makes it a little easy, but at the same time, there will be advanced stuff as well. So take a minor only if you are genuinely interested in doing a minor in that particular field. How do you find whether you are interested in the 3rd sem or not? I think the best idea would be to take at least 1 course and then evaluate whether you really want to continue doing something like this to complete the degree. Who takes this course generally? I think broadly this course is very popular among CSE students, probably because it also fits in with the AI, ML kind of advanced areas in CS. But I know some of my batchmates who are in electrical engineering and are also doing this particular minor. There are a few people from EP as well who are completing this minor with me. So this minor also has a strict cutoff of 20 people who can take up the minor or who can take up the minor course in any given semester, which means that there's a lot of competition and the admission of 20 people is strictly on a CPI basis, which means that this minor tends to have a very high CPI cutoff. And this happens for all of the 4 courses that you take up. You can choose to not do some minor course in 2 semesters because you have 6 semesters from 2nd year to 4th year. So you can plan out your minor degree accordingly. Go to the stats, go to the math department website and have a look at the course content of the minor program. I think that will give you, and so even in stats minor there is a peculiarity where there are 2 courses that are offered in alternate years. So very similar to the math minor, and you can have a look at all of the details and the prerequisites, etc. on the department website. I think, yeah, and that pretty much answers all the questions. In case you have any queries, just raise your hand, shout out.
Any questions for this? None? Okay. And before we move on, just a small request. People who are leaving or they have some reason, then please go from the downstairs. Don't go from upstairs because there's a function going on. So if you want to leave, please leave from the downside. Okay. So next up we have Nishit Tedia to talk about the management minor.
I'm Nishit Area. I'm a 4th year student of civil engineering. I've been pursuing my management minor and I'm nearly done with my 5th course. I hope I'm done with my 5th course. So basically the management minor has probably one of the easiest structures in the entire institute. It is not an engineering minor because of which there's a limited number of courses offered and you need to do all of them. As of now, as it stands, there are 5 courses that exist. We start with marketing management, accounts and finance, project management, operations management and human resource management. As you probably would have judged by their names, they're all independent in terms of what they cover, which makes all of these courses really unique and to an extent standalone. So before I get into whether you should complete the minor or not, I'd like to say that if you are doing it just for the experience also, for like the experience of one course, I think it's good enough because, as I said, the courses are standalone and the courses are good enough in terms of quality. As you can probably read through the name, management as it stands will help you because it will give you a brief introduction into non-core aspects, as you would have probably heard from a lot of seniors. It is core management. If you probably read about it a little further, you would understand that there are 5 fundamentals that are being tackled with respect to the management minor in all of our courses. The courses are taken by SOM instructors, and SOM, as we know it, is the School of Management, which is an independent management body by itself, regardless of whether they take the minor or not. So since these are instructors who have been taking MBA courses for a long time, they understand what they need to do to match their wavelength with engineering students and also cover important management fundamentals such that if you ever want to make management as a career choice, you can using these as the basic fundamentals of information field. What a student gains from it is the basic knowledge and the information that every branch has. To a certain extent, it tells you if you would like a particular stream in management as well, which is very, very important. Another thing that you can gain from it is if you probably realize that you want to do research and there are core aspects that you would deal in, you will probably realize that you can take projects up by talking to the course instructors, which I think is very important. Personally, I did a project in marketing in my second year, the second year winters that I had, which I think helped me gain a lot of information and a lot of modeling techniques which can be applied in other areas of engineering as well. Coming to the third question, I think since management is the most non-core that you can probably get inside the institute in terms of minors, it can apply to absolutely all departments, regardless of what department you're in. I mean, if you go to a classroom of a management minor going on, there will be 40 students who probably cover the 10, 11 academic departments that we have, which makes it extremely special and extremely engineering subjects neutral. And getting to the importance of it, I will say that the importance of the requirement, since I mentioned there are 40 seats only, it has a CPI cutoff since it is probably one of the most sought after minors. So yes, there is a CPI cutoff, which is why there's some competition associated. There are 5 courses that we need to do, and there are 6 opportunities. Since these run in slot 5 only, which is Wednesday 9:30 to 11, the problem with this is 2 of these will run in your odd semesters, which is your 3rd, 5th and 7th semesters, and 3 of them will be in the 4th, 6th and 8th, which makes it imperative for you to take up the course in the 4th, 6th or 8th semester because there is no margin for error. With respect to the odd semester courses, there is one semester that you can not take the course in and still be able to complete the minor. And I think that is about it. If there are any questions, I'd love to answer. No questions? Awesome.
Next we have Sheetal Jain, who's doing a minor in aerospace.
Hi everyone, my name is Sheetal Jain. I'm a 3rd year engineering physics student, BTech, and I don't know whether these guys do this or not, but I'm doing a double minor in this institute. So I'm pursuing firstly a minor in aerospace engineering. So rather than going in this order of answering, I would like to tell you all why I took this course or this minor. So when I was sitting like this in my 2nd semester, I thought what courses to do here. Frankly, no minor interested me very much. So what I decided was, let's just do some courses that interest me one by one and take them as ALCs. Now, there was some tagging problem in ASC and I was forced to take the first course, which was Introduction to Flight, the first aerospace minor course, as a minor and not an ALC. And so, I was just like, let's just start it. And the point was that the course was so good that I continued with the minor, and now, I've done quite a few courses in the aerospace department. So, coming to what the courses are, those courses, whatever the name may be, ask you to apply JE physics in real life scenarios and solve problems. So what that means is, firstly, you're dealing with something you already know. So in no class, whatsoever any class you go to, you'll ever feel that this doesn't make sense or why are they teaching us all this. And secondly, this is one of the least sought after minors. I hardly know people who are doing this myself. So the point being that there are hardly 4 or 5 people in your class, so you can actually go and tell the prof what you want to do and he accordingly tailors the course for you. So, my main idea of doing an aerospace minor was because I like flying and I want to get a pilot's license. And in the US, there are flying clubs to do this, but you need to have a degree in some kind of aeronautical engineering for that. So if anyone is planning, like I am, to get a pilot's license and you're not in aerospace, this is one thing you can consider. You can see all my arguments are kind of arbitrary in nature, and that's how this minor in fact runs. So you have 2 compulsory courses which you're supposed to do: an introduction to aerospace flight and an introduction to space flight. And you'll anyways do this because these are prerequisites for everything else. But then after you can just tailor the minor as you want. So you can do any 3 courses which are worth 6 credits and just get a sign from the aerospace minor in charge, and you're done with your minor. And the best part I felt was, which I think applies to every minor in general, is that you're taking this minor as an interest, okay? It's over and above your core curriculum. It's not required at all. Contrary to popular belief which you all might face, sabhi minor karte hain. The people you see around here, at least half of them are going to, change their views after 1 semester. So, when you take up a minor, just remember this. It's supposed to be such a thing that if I wake you up at 2 a.m. at night and ask you to discuss that with me, you are able to do that with full eagerness. If you even doubt that one bit, it's not a minor then. And very few institutes actually provide this opportunity in India. Even many IITs don't. So it's a very good opportunity, but while selecting this, you should be very careful and choose something which you will be able to do at any point of time, and you'll never get bored of it. Because once you do, then you just keep doing it just because you started it. But that's not the way it's supposed to be, because you'll end up learning nothing. And ideally core is supposed to teach you a lot, but unfortunately or fortunately it doesn't. So, doing a minor should, I believe, only help you in gaining some extra knowledge and keeping yourself alive. You're doing something out of interest where you have no pressure on yourself whatsoever. To do similar arbitrary reasons, think 2 semesters back, I chose this course named Philosophy of Life in the HSS department. I don't know what I was thinking, but the point being, this course had nothing to do with as its title suggests, which was very clear to me in the first class itself. But I really enjoyed this course for 2 reasons. Firstly, the course focused more on improving like not random skills, but a skill which is very required and cannot be taught to you. It has to be practiced. Something called reading and writing. So, I mean, reading novels is very different from actually reading technical things, okay? And by technical, I don't mean papers, okay? I mean, I cannot read papers till date and I'm in my 3rd year, so. I mean, papers are out of our scope for now. But reading things that require you to think about it, to rationalize it, and to keep your views aside and understand what's actually written there. And in this case, it really helps to do such courses where the main focus is on understanding what the other person is thinking rather than putting your interpretation onto it. Second reason I really like this course was, when you go out there, you see a different kind of energy from the department. So, I mean, most engineering departments, highly mathematical, there's a set skill plan, there's a set course content. In those cases, it changes over years, because even philosophy changes over years. And I mean, after doing that course, again, I took that as an ALC and now I'm into my 4th course in the HS department. So I gravitated to that as well. The point being, I mean, the only reason that happened was because I took genuine interest in that course. And I wasn't just learning about it. I was going to class, I was listening, and that's it. But, I mean, the amount of attention you can actually pay to what someone's speaking in a class of 50 odd is what makes a minor so special. So, I mean, coming to the point of whether it's relevant or not, as far as what I've seen, if you're interested in something just for its namesake or without any reason, you just have interest in something, you can always do a minor in any department. And honestly, it is not as much as a future perspective, it is the present one. So, the reason you do that is to keep your interest in life alive. I mean, you're obviously already facing give up already in your 1st year. So, you're going to keep facing this, and there should be something that keeps you motivated to keep going on.
So next up, we have Harshit Sahai, who is going to talk about bioengineering and biosciences.
So, hello guys, I'm Harshit Sahai, 4th from the metallurgical department, and I'll be speaking to you guys about the biology minor. So, back in fresh year, I had the same background that most of you do. I had been not exposed to biology during my 11th and 12th studies. But I don't know about most of you, but I found the biology 101 course really interesting. So if any of you have had a special inclination towards that course or have had recent exposure towards that course, you will find the bio minor interesting. There are at least 3 out of the 7 or 8 courses that are available for you to take up as a bio minor actually build upon modules that were touched in BB 101. And the bio department lists out the various courses it gives along with what it covers on its website, which you can look for more information. So I won't go into the technical details of what they talk, but one thing that is probably one thing that people are usually worried about when it comes to bio courses is whether or not there'll be a lot of rote memory involved, or whether or not, like whether or not you'll have to actually mug up a lot of details before the quizzes. But most of the courses that are covered within the bio minor rely more on an application part, where all you're supposed to do is be more active and attentive during classes, get the concepts right, and you will have questions which typically focus on how these concepts need to be applied rather than like the technical details of what certain facts are. And as far as the potential is concerned, so I'm someone who is shifting into biology as a field. That's what I'm pursuing my major in, despite having had no background. And the bio minor has been very helpful towards that, both in terms of getting a great good knowledge of the field, as well as when it actually comes to applying for be it for research internships or ultimately for graduate school. And bio, of all these departments, bio is probably the one which has intersections with all the departments that you guys belong from. So if you're from CS or Elect, Mech, Meta, chemical, chemistry, no matter which department you're from, biology does have intersections with all of these. And there is growing demand for engineers who have, like solid mathematical and quantitative skills within this field.
But before we begin, I'll just like to show you, like you guys have a lot of questions in your mind, ki, what cutoff does this minor hold, what cutoff does this minor hold. So for that, we have our course info booklet as well. Again, before your registration starts, both of these booklets will be released on time, so you can have a proper look at them. Now before, okay, we'll have the IDC minor in a short while. We'll first just talk about branch change rules. Okay, so just to give a brief idea, after this we'll be covering branch change rules, then we'll have the IDC minor, and then we'll have the tagging rules, which is very important to you. And after that we'll have a Q&A session. We should also include some freebies, by the way. Okay, so let's start with branch change rules. The criteria for that is that you have to have any backlogs after the end of your second semester. That is one. And the second important point is that if you are in general category, you need to have a CPI greater than 8.0. And for SC, ST, PWD, you need to have a CPI greater than 7.0. So these are the basic criteria that you need to satisfy. Now if we talk about the actual algorithm, let's say a number of students want to go to branch B, then first of all, we'll see how many of them have a CPI. The one with the highest CPI will be transferred to branch B. For that, 10% of extra seats are created in that department, the branch B, and the one who has the highest CPI gets transferred to that branch, provided the strength of his own branch does not fall below by more than 25%. If that happens, then he's not allotted a branch change. And there is a certain exception to this. If his CPI is greater than 9.0, then this rule of 25% doesn't apply. So regardless of how low his branch strength is going, he can still get transferred to branch B, provided there is no other student of higher CPI who is being denied a branch change to that branch. Also, so we have one more rule. For example, if I have just one seat left, there are two candidates.